At Northern Water, we advocate for water efficiency and water conservation so that we use the water resources that we have available to the greatest benefit of those water resources. But water conservation doesn't get us all the way with our growing population. We have 8 of the 10 fastest growing cities in northern Colorado in our service area. And Chimney Hollow is part of a regional solution to our water supply gap. Ultimately, Chimney Hollow will supply a supplemental water supply to 825,000 people in northern Colorado across our 12 participants who consist of municipalities and utilities. Water infrastructure projects help prevent buy and dry and keep water on farms in northern Colorado. It's part of our legacy, it's part of our economy, it's part of the open space between our towns and provides habitat for animals. And at Northern Water, we believe projects like Chimney Hollow, projects like NISP, that helps protect the agricultural land in our area and provide a better quality of life for the people in northern Colorado. The Chimney Hollow project is part of our Windy Gap water system. So we have the Windy Gap Reservoir and Windy Gap water rights on the west slope. Those are existing water rights that have been in place since 1967. To make the most out of our Windy Gap water rights and to ultimately see the yield that we need from those water rights, we needed dedicated storage. So the Chimney Hollow Reservoir project provides that dedicated storage for those Windy Gap water rights so that we can reliably provide 30,000 acre feet per year to people in northern Colorado.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Brush. Welcome to our last virtual tour as we are starting to wrap up construction on site. We're up at our overlook where we can see all of the things on the construction site. We're starting to wrap up, so they're just putting the final touches on grading and finishing out some of the instrumentation, and then we'll start reseeding and re-vegging this fall. In some of our past virtual tours, you've seen a lot of activity on site. At our peak production, we had about 500 people on site, but now that things have slowed down, we're down to about 70 people. From up here at the overlook, you can see our construction trailers, the valve house, which sits at the base of the dam. You can't really see it, but the spillway is all underground. And also the main feature, our main dam, as well as the inlet outlet tower where water moves in and out of the reservoir, our on-site quarry where we blasted all of the rock for the main dam. And then about 2.5 miles south of where we're standing, there is the Saddle Dam.
My name is Grant Jameson. I'm the project closeout manager here at the Chimney Hollow Reservoir project for Barnhart Construction. In the last 50 months, we have spent over 3.5 million man hours on the job site, 2.5 million of which were self-performed by Barnhart and our employees. The other million were our affiliates and subcontractors. Since the start of construction, we have blasted and hauled over 14.5 billion cubic yards from the quarry on the job site, which is over 4 times the volume of the Hoover Dam. Of the 14.5 million cubic yards hauled from the quarry, 12.5 million went and were placed in the main dam embankment. At our peak, we had over 500 employees on the job site, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To make up all the structures and foundations on the job site, our batch plant has produced over 80,000 cubic yards of concrete.
The main feature work for Chimney Hollow is, of course, the main dam. We're standing here about 2/3 of the way up on the main dam. This work started 4 years ago with us stripping the whole foundation, the 80-acre foundation of this project, all the way down to rock. We built a reinforced concrete plinth in that bottom of that foundation, which acts as the base for our asphalt core, as well as the cap for our grouting program. We drilled and grouted 33 miles of grout holes through that plinth, and then ultimately we placed over 20 million tons of rock and asphalt on top of the project to build the main dam. The main dam is a 350-foot tall asphalt core dam. It's the tallest new dam built in all the United States in 25 years, and one of the first asphalt core rockfill dams built in the United States.
The asphalt is about 3 feet wide at the bottom, and then it tapers up to 2 feet at the top. And they place that in 9-inch lifts. Every day they'd place a lift. And they also brought the rock embankment up at the same time. In total, there was 512 lifts of asphalt to complete the main dam.
On the far south end of the reservoir, we have a saddle dam, which is a 50-foot tall rockfill clay core dam. The style of construction and design is similar to the dams at Carter Lake and at Horsetooth with the clay core and the rockfill shell. The saddle dam also has a grout curtain through the foundation. The saddle dam is a critical feature of Chimney Hollow. It allows us to fill the reservoir about 50 feet taller than the valley, and it increases the capacity of the reservoir by about 33%.
Valve House is a location where all the pipelines converge, and it also diverts water to either Chimney Hollow Reservoir, Flatiron Reservoir, and Carter Lake Reservoir. Within the Valve House, we have a 25-ton bridge crane used to maintain all the equipment. Due to the location of the Valve House, there are no pumps needed. Everything is gravity fed. The Valve House itself is a 12,000 square foot building that is over 30 feet tall.
Behind me, you can also see the tunnel, and that is how we fill and release water from Chimney Hollow. So water comes from the Valve House in a pipeline that's underground, through the tunnel, around the dam, to a tower on the upstream side, and that is where water will come out and then also be released from Chimney Hollow through that same tunnel pipeline system. Right now at the portal, you can see they're finishing up. They did all the sculpted shotcrete around the outside, and now they're staining that to make it match what the natural rock would look like.
At this point in the project, we still have over 70 employees on the job site, most of which are all focused on contract closeout, cleanup, and demobilization efforts. To demobilize a job site of this magnitude, it requires a lot of people dedicated to cleaning up the over 100 shipping containers we have, packaging those for transport, and either sending them to our next project or to a temporary storage facility in town. Most of the materials we have left on the job site will be shipped to another Barnard project, or it will get sent to auction, depending on the state of the equipment and the type.
So here we have one of our 777 haulers. It's a 100-ton haul truck, which we use to haul all of the rock materials onto the main dam. Right now, they're all kind of sitting parked, and we're working on getting them cleaned up so that they can be hauled off onto the next project.
In 2023, about midway through construction, we had a lot of rain that spring, and we had to do an emergency discharge. And at that time, we ended up testing water in the cofferdam at Chimney Hollow and realized that we had elevated levels of uranium. That was really the first time that we started to understand that we had uranium in the rock out at Chimney Hollow. Through a number of studies, we've been able to identify that the location of that uranium is in the granitic rock that was sourced out of our quarry and used to build the main dam and the saddle dam at Chimney Hollow. The uranium content in that granitic rock is really relatively low. It's about 1,000 times less than what you would see in a typical low-grade uranium mine. It just happens to be in a form that's quite soluble, and it doesn't take that much soluble uranium in the rock to cause a water quality issue in the reservoir. The issues that we're seeing with the uranium at Chimney Hollow are at levels and concentrations that we believe can be managed through mitigation. We have identified a number of different potential options that deal with how we operate Chimney Hollow, as well as potential treatment options, water treatment options that will help us to provide safe and reliable water out of Chimney Hollow. We are not going to deliver any water out of Chimney Hollow until a mitigation plan is in place, and we are confident that we can deliver water that meets public health standards.
I think I speak for everybody involved when I say I'm proud to be a part of the Chimney Hollow project.
It's been really fun to work on a project like this over the past several years. It's not every day you get to do something like this.
The project itself is one of Barnard's largest self-performed dams in company history. Although we're happy to see the project be completed, it's bittersweet for most of us. The work you see behind me is a testament to the dedication of the people and their families that have been involved in this project since the beginning, and all the sacrifices that have been made to build this project, not only over the last 4 years, but over the last 2 decades to get this project to be built.
On behalf of Northern Water, we'd like to thank all the employees and their families that have worked on this project, the long hours and late nights, and have helped contribute to the success of the project.
I'd like to thank everybody involved, especially the neighbors to the Chimney Hollow Reservoir over the last 4 years of the project. We greatly appreciate your patience and assistance in getting this project built.